I think most of the students have joined. So we'll continue with the terminologies that we'll come across during the study of this topic. Now, we have already studied the different terminologies that is known as first terminology that we know is gravimetry. It is a quantitative analysis technique where a solid is separated from the solution and by weighing the known amount that can be calculated. So by weighing technique, the analysis when it is carried out, it is normally known as a gravimetric analysis technique. Secondly, we have studied the process of precipitation where it is a chemical process causing the separation of an insoluble solid from the solution is known as a precipitation. Thirdly, we have seen a precipitant. Precipitant is nothing but it is a reagent because of which the process of precipitation is enhanced or it is increased. This is known as a precipitation. The precipitant is a reagent and precipitation is a process. Then we have studied the fourth term that is known as a precipitate. When the solid is separated from the solution, it is known as a precipitate. For example, we have seen HCl plus AgNO3, AgCl is formed. This is known as a precipitate. Just now we have seen the process of ignition where the thermal decomposition of a substance to get a constant mass or to get a constant weight is known as the ignition process. Up to this, we have already studied. I am repeating all these terms because to make you aware the important terminologies and the words that we have to use during the study of these terminologies. Then we have conducted during the gravimetric analysis technique one process after the formation of a precipitate that is known as a digestion. What we have conducted during the digestion, the process that we have kept the precipitate in contact with mother liquor. This process is known as a digestion. So this process I am going to discuss elaborately in due course of time, but now we can study only the definition. The definition of digestion. Sometimes the digestion is also referred as a aging of precipitate, or it is also known as the recrystallization of precipitate, or sometimes it is also referred as Oswald's ripening process. So there are four different words which are used to define this process of digestion. Digestion, second word is aging of precipitate, third word is a recrystallization, and fourth word is a ripening or Oswald's ripening process. So all these meaning is one only one, that is it is a process of maturing of precipitate. The process of maturing of precipitate with the passage of time is known as a digestion. So I'm going to elaborately discuss this particular process, and you might be knowing that we have kept the beaker containing the precipitate in a hot water bath for about 30 minutes. This process is known as a digestion. So during this process, the precipitate is brought into a easily filterable form. This process is known as a maturing process. Now, another terminology that is known as a coagulation. Coagulation, it is a physical phenomena. What is a coagulation? Coagulation can be defined as the formation of a bigger aggregates or the clustering of smaller particles to become bigger particles or bigger precipitate is known as a coagulation. So coagulation is nothing but it is again a process of solidification where a sol is converted into gel. I will I would like to show you. This is in the form of a diagram in due course of a time. It is a process of solidification of a sol to convert into a gelatinous mass. These particles which are coagulated, they form a bigger mass, and because of which the mass is increased, and because of the higher density it settles down at the bottom. It does not float in the solution, but because of higher density it settles down at the bottom of the beaker. This process is known as a coagulation. Coagulation is nothing but it is a formation of bigger aggregates from sol to gel is known as a is known as a coagulation. One another word that will come across is known as a peptidation. The word that is known as a peptidization. Peptidization is nothing but it is exactly the reverse process of coagulation. Just now I have seen that in coagulation, smaller particles they unite so as to form a bigger mass. But peptidization is nothing but the breakdown of the bigger mass into smaller particles. So these are two exact phenomena which are which are equal and opposite to each other. Coagulation, formation of bigger aggregates, and peptidization, breakdown of bigger aggregates into smaller particles. That means in a coagulation, sol is converted into gel, but in peptidization, gel is converted into sol. It is known as a peptidization. One more terminology, that is the last terminology, is known as a nucleation. Nucleation, the word is rather difficult to understand, but if we see an example, then it is very easy. Again, I would like to give you the same example of the reaction between HCl and AgNO3. What happens in this process when the solution containing HCl to which AgNO3 is added? Initially, we add a drop of AgNO3 to the solution of HCl. So the negative, so the positive ions from AgNO3, that is Ag plus ions, they combine with the negative ions from the solution. The negative ions are the chloride ions. So initially, a small nuclei of AgCl is formed. So the formation of a microscopic particles due to addition of a precipitating reagent is known as a nucleation process. So nucleation can be defined as the initial step of passing of supersaturated stage to saturated stage. Supersaturated stage to saturated stage. So in supersaturated stage, there are more and more number of chlorides are there, but due to addition of AgNO3, the chloride ions decrease in number. That means the solution turns to be saturated. Because of decrease in the number of chlorides, the solution turns to be saturated. Why? The number of chlorides decreases because due to addition of AgNO3, the Ag plus ions combined with Cl minus ions, they decrease the number of chlorides so as to form the AgCl. So the supersaturated stage turns to be saturated, and during this precipitation, or it is a process, you should remember this very carefully. The nucleation, it is a process of joining of 4 to 5 ions from the solution to form a second stable phase is known as a nucleation. That means if we add a drop of AgNO3 to the solution containing HCl, initially 4 to 5 Ag ions from AgNO3 combine with 4 to 5 ions from the chloride ions from the solution so as to form the initial precipitate. This is known as a nucleation. So it is a starting process of formation of the precipitate. So after which gradually when we add the precipitating reagent, then more and more AgCl will be formed. So this is known as a nucleation. So nucleation, it is a process of joining of 4 to 5 ions or the molecules from the solution to form a solid second step phase is known as the nucleation. Now, after the completion of the terminologies that we have studied, some 8 to 9 terminologies that we have studied, now we have to see the process of gravimetric analysis. As we know, when the solution that is supplied to you all in the laboratory, we carry out the usual procedure. What is the usual procedure? We carry out the precipitation of the solution. Then we follow the second step, that is known as a digestion. That means we keep the beaker on hot water bath or on a hot sand bath. Third, after complete digestion or aging or Oswald's ripening, the third step come into play, that is known as a filtration of precipitate, where you are supplied with Whatman filter paper, which is circular fashion. We fold this paper, keep this paper on a funnel, and we add the solution which has completed the process of digestion, and by adding slowly this solution to the Whatman filter paper, then the mother liquor that separates the solid part, that is known as a filtration. Then fourth step is a washing of precipitate. Some unwanted impurities may also get adhere or get associated with the precipitate during the process of precipitation. In order to remove all such insoluble impurities from the solution, we have to carry out the process that is known as a washing of precipitate. Here, due to washing of precipitate, unwanted particles or the insoluble impurities, those are removed during this washing process, for which a solution that is used for the washing of precipitate is known as a washing solution. Sometimes hot water is used. For example, if we carry out the process, the gravimetric analysis of barium, then hot water is used as a washing solution. If you are carrying out the gravimetric estimation of iron, you have conducted this experiment, reddish brown colored precipitate that is obtained. For the washing of such gelatinous type of precipitate, the washing solution is 1% ammonium nitrate solution. This is known as a weak electrolytic solution, which brings the gelatinous precipitate of FeOH thrice, that is ferric hydroxide, into easily filterable form. That is known as a washing solution, and this process by which the washing solution is used for 4 to 10 times for the complete removal of the impurities is known as the washing of the precipitate. Then after complete washing, we carry out next step, that is a drying procedure. What is the drying? Here, after washing, we keep the funnel along with Whatman filter paper in an oven. You might be remembering the oven that we have kept in the laboratory, where you have kept your funnel along with the Whatman filter paper for the drying. So after an hour or so, the precipitate get dried. That means whatever moisture that is present, that is removed. This process is known as a drying process. Then the ignition of the precipitate. The filter paper that contains the solid precipitate, either it may be from barium sulfate or ferric hydroxide that is converted into ferric oxide Fe2O3. This is again ignited in a crucible. Perhaps you might be remembering a very small silica apparatus that you have used, and this silica crucible that is kept inside the, the ignition unit, and after about 10 to 15 minutes, the Whatman filter paper, which is regarded as a ashless filter paper, the ash is removed and crucible contains merely the precipitate of barium sulfate or ferric oxide. This process is known as a ignition process. Then the accurate weighing sorry, the accurate weighing of the precipitate. After complete cooling of this crucible, we weigh the precipitate. So, by subtracting the weight of empty crucible from this weight, which contains the weight of crucible as well as the precipitate, we have obtained the exact weight of the precipitate, is known as a weighing of the precipitate. And the eighth process or the eighth step, that is known as the determination of constituents using the gravimetric factor. So you are given a gravimetric factor. By using this gravimetric factor, what is the weight of the analyte or what is the mass of analyte? For example, BaSO4 corresponding to Ba, that corresponds to BaCl2 twice H2O. If you are having the journal, you can refer for the better understanding of this part. So the process of gravimetric analysis that includes these 8 steps, which are those: first is a precipitation, second is a digestion, third is a filtration, fourth is a washing, fifth is a drying, sixth is a ignition, seventh is a accurate weighing, and eighth is a determination of the constituents using the gravimetric factor. So I am going to discuss all these steps one by one in more details, because you are very well familiar with all these steps because you have carried out the experiments under this gravimetric analysis. So the first steps begins here is a step of precipitation. Just now I have defined the process of precipitation, that it is a reaction in which the positive ion of the substance combines with negative ions so as to form a solid, that is known as the process of precipitation. So we have conducted one experiment with regard to this. The another example in this regard that I would like to give you, that you are supplied with the solution of barium chloride BaCl2, to which if we add hot solution of 2 normal sulfuric acid, that is H2SO4, then the Ba plus 2 ion from the solution combined with the SO4 2 minus ions from sulfuric acid so as to form BaSO4, which is a solid. So precipitation is nothing but the separation of solid, insoluble solid from the solution, where the positive ions of one substance combined with negative ions of another substance so as to form an insoluble solid is known as the process of precipitation. Now, how the process of precipitation is carried out? Normally, during laboratory, if you see very carefully, if we add hot sulfuric acid, a test tube of hot sulfuric acid to the solution of barium chloride, that is BaCl2, initially if we add a drop of sulfuric acid, then a milky white color that is obtained. It is not complete precipitation, because the process of precipitation involves 3 important steps. The first step, that is known as the nucleation, that is formation of a microscopic part or microscopic ions of the precipitate to be formed, that is known as a nucleation. Second, these nuclei grow in size, that is known as the crystal growth. And third is the digestion. So precipitation process involves 3 important steps. If a question of the type, if it is asked, discuss the 3 steps involved in the process of precipitation, then you have to first of all mention these 3 steps. Process of precipitation involves 3 steps. First is a nucleation, that is a formation of a nuclei. Second, crystal growth. These nuclei grow in size, that is known as a crystal growth. And third is a digestion. Now, I would like to define once again the process of nucleation, which we have already seen. In brief, we have seen nucleation is the first step of precipitation, where very small portion of the precipitate that has been produced due to addition of a precipitating reagent. For example, if we are having a solution of BaCl2, to which if the solution of H2SO4 is added, initially very small quantity of the precipitate is formed. Say for example, I would like to give you one example. Suppose for example, if you are having a seed of any particular plant, if we sow this seed in a soil and if we supply enough amount of water, then initially a sprouting, that is a small outgrowth that coming out of this seed, this is known as seed is growing, and this seed grows during the course of a time so as to form a big plant. So the sprouting of the seed is known as a nucleation process. Similarly, when we add the solution of sulfuric acid to the solution of BaCl2, that is barium chloride, initially small nuclei they are formed. This process is known as a nucleation. That is very beginning process of the formation of the precipitate. So it is nothing but the formation of nuclei, that is the formation of a small particles of precipitate of microscopic size that serves as the centers for the subsequent growth of the precipitate. This word is very important. This small part of the procedure that grows or that is formed, that grows as a center for the subsequent growth of the precipitate. That means when we add continuously the precipitating reagent, then these crystal nuclei grow in size. This is known as a process of nucleation. So, due to addition of a precipitating reagent, first of all, a very small quantity of the barium ions they combine with a very small quantity of sulfate ions from the precipitating reagent so as to form BaSO4. I would like to show you this example. Just see this. See these steps, that is known as the nucleation. Just now you have seen that is a formation of small portion of the precipitate of microscopic size. I have said that initially when, take this example, BaCl2 plus H2SO4, this is an analyte in terms of gravimetric analysis. This is known as analyte. That is, the substance under analysis is known as analyte, and this sulfuric acid is known as a precipitating agent or precipitating reagent which induces the precipitation. What happens during this course? The Ba plus 2 ions combine with SO4 plus 2 ions, that is Ba plus 2 ions combine with SO4 2 minus ions so as to form BaSO4, that is white colored precipitate is formed. And what is remaining? Twice H is there and twice Cl is there plus twice HCl. This is known as the mother liquor. HCl is known as a mother liquor. So when a drop of this sulfuric acid it is added, some few barium ions they combine with sulfate ions so as to form BaSO4. Not almost all the barium ions they combine with sulfate ions. Initially, one drop serves as a center, or it serves as a center for the subsequent growth of the precipitate due to addition of this drop. Very small quantity. This is a small quantity, that is microscopic size. This small quantities of very microscopic size. This serves as a center for the other part of the procedure that is to be formed during the course of this precipitation. So if we want to show this in terms of a equation, then for example, X stands for one analyte, and this X stands for the precipitating reagent that we have added that can form X2. Now, due to further addition of a precipitate to the solution, then they can form X3. Then again we have added some excess amount of the precipitating reagent that forms X4. So if we elaborate this particular equation, then if I write xn minus 1 plus x, then it can form xn. That means where x is nothing but it is an ion, that is a barium ion, and xn stands for the crystal nucleus. This is known as a crystal nucleus, what we call as a process of a nucleation. I think you are very well familiar with this equation, how the process of nucleation that that is carried out during the course of gravimetric analysis. So nucleation is a process of formation of a small portion of the precipitate of microscopic size. Very small nuclei are developed. Which are those nuclei? Those nuclei are of the barium sulfate particles, and they grow in size during the course of addition of the precipitate. So this is known as a process of nucleation. You should remember this sentence also, because today we are looking only the theoretical part, no chemical reactions as such we are performing. So you should remember this sentence, that the formation of a solid precipitate of microscopic size that serves as a center for subsequent growth of the precipitate. So this serves as a center for subsequent for growth of the precipitate is known as a process of nucleation. Now again I would like to give you much more information regarding this formation of a precipitate of this nucleation, that is the formation of nuclei. Theoretically, if we see the clustering of the ions, that is, for example, what is the clustering of ions? Say for example, Pa plus 2 ions from the solution, and SO4 ions, SO4 2 minus ions from this precipitating reagent, so as to form the BaSO4. This BaSO4 serves as a center for subsequent formation of the precipitate from the supersaturated solution. So initially the solution is supersaturated solution. Initially the solution is supersaturated solution, but when sulfate ion they combine with barium ions, then the number of barium ions those go on decreasing because of formation of the precipitate, and the solution now becomes saturated. So this is the main difference between supersaturated and saturated solution. And this supersaturated solution is expected to occur in a spontaneous fashion, because we are adding constantly the precipitating reagent in the form of a sulfate ions. So when relatively high degree of supersaturation exists, the nuclei are thought to originate as a result of spontaneous nucleation. The nuclei are under the process of such condition is said to be the homogeneous nucleation. So here, by further addition of sulfuric acid to the solution of barium ion, this process is known as a homogeneous precipitation. So there are two different types of precipitation. One is a homogeneous precipitation, another is a heterogeneous. Another is a heterogeneous precipitation. What is this heterogeneous precipitation? Sorry. The heterogeneous precipitation is nothing but when we add SO4 ions from H2SO4 to the solution containing Ba plus 2 ion. Normally, we stir the solution very vigorously. During the stirring, the glass rod or the sides of the beaker, the size of beaker or certain dust particles or certain foreign material that is also present in the solution, all these they can enhance the formation of precipitate. So this is known as the heterogeneous precipitation. So homogeneous precipitation is nothing but by adding sulfuric acid solution to the solution of barium chloride, by stirring, the precipitate is formed which grows in size during the course of a time, that is known as a homogeneous precipitation. But during this stirring, the glass rod or the sides of the beaker or the dust particles, very few dust particles are there, or certain foreign material also there accompanied with this precipitate, which also enhances the formation of precipitate, is known as a heterogeneous precipitation. So nucleation is of two types: homogeneous nucleation and heterogeneous nucleation. So, in most of the cases where a relatively low degree of supersaturation exists, the process of nucleation is to be induced. So, the example that I would like to give you here, that is already I have given, that the introduction of a small crystal solute, for example, barium plus 2, that acts as a seed of the precipitate into the solution, serves as a site for further precipitation. In addition, very small or very fine suspended particles, those are also present in the solution. These small fine particles suspended, that is the foreign materials in the solution, that is the dust particles are also present, some impurities are also present. Those impurities adhering to the wall of the beaker or to the wall of the vessel, even the scratches which are present on the walls of the beaker or glass surface, this serves as a nucleation centers or nucleation sites. Stirring the supersaturated solution also helps to enhance the process of nucleation. So, under such circumstances, the process of nucleation is called induced nucleation, because we have induced the formation of a precipitate either by stirring or by using the hot solution of precipitating reagent. It is known as a heterogeneous type of nucleation or heterogeneous type of precipitation. It is also found that the particles of the precipitate are formed from the supersaturated solution. The larger the extent of supersaturation, the smaller the size of individual particles and vice versa. So, this is how the first step of precipitation is to be studied. So, the process of precipitation that involves three important steps. First step is a nucleation, second step is a crystal growth, and third step is a digestion. So I would like to conclude because only 1 minute has left. Tomorrow we are having two seminars. One seminar is of Varsha Bhosle and another seminar is of, I think it is Afifa Naik. So they have to deliver this seminar. I have received the presentation of Varsha Bhosle. I have not received the second presentation. They should send the precipitate immediately. So we'll meet tomorrow 8:50. Thank you very much.